everyone see my screen? Just F11. F11. There we go. Okay. All right. So when well, Rosen LevelUP is a e-learning library, and it's meant to be used for individuals. That's how it was purposely built. But I've heard cases where people are using it for the library itself to teach their classes. But it's actually made for individuals. So let's say you're a parent of 2 children, then it's advisable to use to purchase 2 accounts. So in that way, each child can be monitored closely, and the AI that's within the system itself can estimate what kind of books, what level they are, without each individual child taking over each other's account. So what happens is when you're presented with LevelUP, oh sorry, by the way, you can run LevelUP on any device that you can use a browser. So that could be a mobile phone, it could be a tablet like an iPad, and a computer. So as long as it has a browser. But for the best experience, it's probably not advisable to use a mobile phone because it's so small. And some of the elements within the LevelUP, you need to use your, the touch screen itself. So it might be a bit tricky using a mobile device. So when you log into LevelUP for the first time, you'll be presented with this login screen. So Chuya would have given you a user ID and a password, one for you as a teacher or parent, and one for your child or your student. So there's 2 ways you can actually log in to LevelUP. You can type in your username with your password, or you can use this QR code. It's not this particular QR code, but later on I will go into the system, I'll log in, then you can see how this actually works. So I just printed out the QR code for some students. So what I'm going to do, I'll tell you what, no, I'll just log in as normal like everyone else will. Okay, then log in. So I'm logging in now as a parent or a teacher, which everyone is here who's in this room right now. How many people do we have, Julia?
30 some, no, I cannot see it, 30 something. 32.
Give me a second. I'm just trying to see everyone. Hold on. Okay. I can hear a dog barking. Okay, so first thing is, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how the layout, explain what each of these icons at the top is. So first thing, by default, what you see is this icon bookshelf. So this bookshelf will present all of the books, well, give you access to all of the books in the Rosen LevelUP system. So currently there is more than 2,300 books. And it's supposed to be growing at about 100 to 200 books per year, as we were told by Rosen themselves. So you can see here down below are where all some of the books here on across the top. You can just scroll across by clicking on the arrow, or you can scroll down. So you can see the kind of books that, as a teacher, what I was just looking at. I've opened up these ones, and it remembers what I've actually read. This second icon is what books that I like to keep in my own collection here. So I can call up the book that I want in future. So if I click on my collection, you can see here some of the books I've saved, and then I've tagged the book in using my own words here. So if I want to find a book and create a new tag for that book, let's say, for example, what do we have here? Let's say dinosaurs. And hit the plus, save that. So in future, what I'll do, let's say, oh, in fact, there's a dinosaur book there. So I can tag this book with the word dinosaur there. So I'll just add the tag there, and I'll just type the word dinosaur. It should start auto-filling once I start typing the word dinosaur. So you can see there, it can see my tag there. I've tagged it and I saved it. So if I was to come into my collection here, then click on dinosaurs, it will present the books that's in that particular tag. So that's very simple, right? So that's all what that icon does, my collection. My classroom. So as a teacher, this is where I do all the assigning and the marking and controlling what all the students are in my class. So we've already pre-filled this. We've already have 8 students. We just called them September student 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So at a glance, I can see how each student is currently performing, and this is how I can control what's going on. So the way Rosen LevelUP works is it's using what's called a Lexile level reading system. So you can have a Lexile level or a beginning reader Lexile level of I think it was 100, and then it goes all the way up to like 1,000, 1,500 lexiles. So of course, beginning reader means like you're very beginner. You're just looking at words at, you know, CVC words, consonant, vowel, consonant type of words, and then you're getting up to this kind of level, 530, 750 lexiles, which would mean to, as an equivalent, this child can probably be able to read like a Harry Potter novel, this kind of level. So here, this next column here, so it's got a quiz frequency. So what this means is I can control when the student is presented with a quiz. So I can, when they finish a book, for example, this student number 1, I've put this option here after every book. So after they've read the book, they're going to be presented with a quiz. So this child down here, student number 7, I set it at 3. So all you have to do is by clicking on the down arrow, then here's all your options. So let's say, for example, this child here, 750, is every 3 books, but now he doesn't really need a quiz now. So I can just put never if I wanted to. Third column here, constructed response, whether you can turn it on or off. So what this means is the questions that's in the quiz, rather than just having multiple choice all the way through, there'll be some questions where it requires the student to type a response, a constructed response. And for a child, let's say this one here at level 10, they're probably not very good at typing anyway. So what I ought to do is switch this off so they'll never be presented with a question where it requires them to type anything. Same again here, 40 lexiles, same again at 30 lexiles. This is the kind of level where they're probably not very good at typing or spelling. These 3 ellipses, the dots, if you click on it here, then you'll get 2 options. So what you see here, trigger progress monitoring assessment and trigger new intake assessment. So what happens is when you're launching LevelUP for the very first time as a student, when you log in, your child logs in, what will happen is they will be presented with an intake assessment. So this intake assessment is trying to measure where they're currently at their level, so we can get the Lexile level. So if this child has been using the system already, they've read 10 million books or all 2,300 books already, and then you click on this option, when they log in for the next time, they will be presented with that intake assessment as if they've just started for the very first time. So this one, I would say, treat with extreme caution. I've actually used this one for student number 1 for demonstration purposes. So what you will see later on, I've read maybe like 50, 60 books already, and then I keep clicking on this just so that you can all see what a new intake assessment looks like. This trigger progress monitoring assessment, what this is, if a child has read a few books already and then the system is already set up in such a way, by default, they would be presented with this assessment anyway after reading 10 books. Is it true? Yeah, 10 or 15 books, I think it is. But what you can do is you can click on this and force a monitoring assessment to come up at any time that you want. Does that make sense? So these 8 students, I can group them accordingly. So if I was to assign books, I can assign a book to each individual student, or I can assign it to a group of students. So to save time, what I did was I created reading groups. So I created a group called beginning readers, average readers, lower ability readers, and high ability. So if I wanted to assign that dinosaur book to this beginning readers book, the beginning reader group, then it's easy. I can just assign it to this group itself rather than doing it one by one, which is more time consuming. So this is hopefully it's very straightforward, this grouping. So this assigned books. So this is what I was talking about earlier on. If I wanted to assign a book, okay, no, by some miracle, there's a dinosaur book here. So what I can do is assign this book to a group rather than just this student here. So earlier on, in 18th of March, I already assigned this book to student number 1. Okay, so this is just as a quick visual that you can see which students have been assigned what book, and you can assign you can give them a due date when they must read this book. So in this case, Dinosaurs on a Farm, their due date, in fact, it's today. So they must complete it by today. Okay, so this one, let me just go back to my class roster, the students. I just wanted to show you where this QR code I was talking about. So up here, print login badges. So what happens is when you click on this, it will give each student here a QR code that you can print out and then use to log in. So if the child is not very good, they can't type, they can't remember their password, they can't remember their user ID, all you need to do is print this out, cut it out, and then when it comes to the time to log in, all they have to do is switch on the camera on the computer and then scan this QR code to get access. So later on, I will log out of here and then log in as a student using that QR code. Inbox. So this inbox section here, basically, remember I was telling you about the constructed response option. So when a child is presented with a question where they need to type an answer, when they submit the answer, it comes here. So I can see what is it that I need to assess. So there's nothing for me to assess here right now. It doesn't say anything. I got nothing to assess. But previously, what happened was these students here have had questions presented to them. So you can see, so their Lexile levels is kind of representative of the fact that they're presented with a question that they need to type something. So you can see here, this student number 2 read the book Princess Suki's Pony, and then I can see the response. What was it? So this is the kind of question that they had presented to them. Why did Suki ask her family to build bridges? So it gives you a model, some kind of answer. Because I haven't read this book, so it tells you what kind of answer they should be typing. So in this case, this student number 2 typed some garbage. This thing here, which is nothing. So when I did the marking of it, I said it didn't. This answer did not meet. Doesn't meet. So they failed to answer that. So I can address this later on, that this student either didn't understand the question or they just playing around. This last one here, the option, gaming and incentives. LevelUP gives the ability for children to, we reward them. Every time they read a book, we give them some stars, basically. So if they finish the quiz and then they answer the quiz quite well, they get more stars. So these stars give them access to a module within LevelUP where it's like a virtual reality, a gaming world, an environment. And what I've done here is for student 1, I switched on this gaming element. In fact, all of them, I switched it on. This is where LevelUP is very good to influence them, to motivate them to read more books, to answer the questions, to pay attention, then they get more gaming time. So we can also control that gaming time. So student number 1, I don't want them to play too much. I want them to spend more time reading. But if I want to change it, I just click on the down arrow and then give them what time limit to use this system. Just to let you know, if they log in during the weekends, they will get full access to it overrides these timings that I put in here, so they can play all day, all night on the Saturdays and Sundays. Now, the most important part, the report section, the 4th icon here. As a parent or as a teacher, I can see what kind of results the children are doing. So I can control what time frame I want to look at. So let's say in the last 30 days, what's been happening. So I can see a quick glance that how many students? 2 students have read books, a total of 5 books. So I can see a student 1 has read 2 books, student 3 has read 3 books, and they've spent this amount of time reading. In fact, this one's very fast, whizzing through these 3 books. But in terms of the quiz, they've got maximum score, 100%. I can go even deeper into this and see what actually this student read. Student number 1, what did they read? Here we go. See full activity breakdown. So they read Comet the Cat, The Great Umbrella Hunt. So you can see what the Lexile level of that book was. It was a non-fiction book. Was it assigned to them? No. When did they complete it? Did they play the audio? Yes. And what score did they achieve? So if I just go back here, now I can see how did they perform in the quizzes. So they were in the, oh, they only did 1 quiz actually. Yeah, they read 2 books, and was presented with 1 quiz. So I can see they scored maximum points here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go backwards, and I back 1 point, and then I just want to see another book that they read. Let me just change the time frame. It's 90 days. Student 1 again. Let's see how they did. Okay, so I can see here, for example, that one of the questions that they got in this book, they only answered 1 out of 2 correctly, which gives them a score of 50%. And that one is to do with making inference type of question. So if I click on this, and I can see what was that question, what book they read and what question did they get. So they read the book Hot and Cold, and they got the question wrong in here. So if I click on Hot and Cold, the question that they were presented with, what can you do when it is hot? So these are option A, option B. So they decide to choose, they can build a snowman, which is obviously wrong. So you see how much detail I can see that how the child is performing. I'm looking at their almost like every click that they do. So this is the power of Rosen LevelUP, where you can actually, now you can intervene and choose a book that has questions on making inferences and then assign that particular book. Before I do that, I just want to explain to you down below here. If you're a teacher, some teachers have gone through courses where they know about standards, common standards. So in this Rosen LevelUP, they use what's called CEFR, Common European Framework of Reference for Language. It's standards that's created for global use, and the Rosen LevelUP have adopted these standards. So we can see, I think, like let me just see which one's making inference. But anyway, what these codes are, you don't need to remember these codes. I don't even think any teacher would remember these codes, but you can highlight it and see what the reference, the standard that this book is trying to take to task. So now I just want to go back to my bookshelf, and then I want to find a book that addresses these making inferences, and assign it to student number 1. Okay, so in this top bar here, just like any other search engine, Google search engine, it's the same thing. So when I click on that, you see some icons, some text below where it says what category, what language, fiction, non-fiction, Lexile range, more filters. So I can select a specific category if I wanted to. Language is English and Spanish basically, because it's this is a American system. Fiction, non-fiction, everyone knows. Lexile range, I can just bring it down for the beginning reader to maybe around 80 Lexile. So beginning reader 100L to 80L. So what I'm trying to do is give that child a bit of a challenge. Then if I click on more filters here, I can actually filter it even further. So I don't want it to give me any books that's got more than 20 pages. If it's got audio, please limit to only like 12 minutes. And then here are the skills that I want to try to filter. So remember, make inferences. So I click on make inferences, it's going to give me books which will have this kind of question in there. So we can see Patty's pictures, a piggy bank for Pedro, school is cool, show and tell. And then page 2, some more books. So there we go. Let me see which one's interesting. Who ate the turkey? So let's say I'm interested in who ate the turkey. I click on it to see what's it about, what's involved in this book. So this is where teachers love this particular element of LevelUP. So this book here, Beginner Reader 20, it's a fiction book. It's got 12 minutes. It has audio and it's a total of 1 minute. It gives a brief info about what the book is about. And then here below are some resources that you can print out. Not even as a parent, you can still use these. So these are templates that you can use. Activity sheets, I think we'd like to call them, for example. So this particular one gives a lesson plan for the book itself. If I click on this, you see the PDF, what kind of things that you can do as a teacher. Close that. Let's go back here. F11. Okay. Then other templates that you can use, compare, contrast, organizer. They're all PDFs, so you can just print these as you so wish. You can also print the book out itself. So depending on how you want it, you can print it in full size, mini book size. So it's not just an ebook where you're reading it on the platform itself. You can actually print it out if you wanted to, you know. So I want to assign this book to student number 1. So rather than just do student number 1, why don't I give it to all the beginning readers? So that will be student 1, student 3, student 5. When it's displayed on their screen, I'll say display it from the 30th, save that, and then they must read this book by end of 8 of May. Okay, and click on assign. If I wanted to look further into that book itself, I want to see what kind of quiz questions are they going to be presented with. So here I can see who ate the turkey. Well, I haven't read the book, so show me the answers. Not that it's going to do me good at this point, but you can see that what the answers that they should be giving to me. If I want to use this book in the future, I can save it to my collection. Remember, I did talk about that briefly. And then if I wanted to read the book myself, I can open a book here and read it, which I won't do at this point here. Okay, so that is Rosen LevelUP in terms of a teacher mode, or as a parent mode, shall we say. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to log out and log back in again as a student, and I'm going to use my QR code. So what happens is when you click on the QR code, it's going to try to get access to your camera. So I just got to, sorry, I've covered my camera I blacked it out so no one can spy on me. So can everyone see what's going on here? So I'm just line up my QR code for student 1. There we go, success in. So now I'm in as student 1. So hopefully everyone makes use of that element, especially for children who can't remember much their passwords, let alone their name. So I can see here a student number 1 has been assigned this book. I don't quite see why I signed this book because it's a very high Lexile level, and some books that this child has been going in reading very high. Please bear in mind that this student here, we've used this as a demo, student 1, and they've had a tremendous range of Lexiles. from beginning reader to extremely high level of reader. That's why you're seeing these books. Even though I'm currently a very low level right now, low Lexile level reader, I've got these books that I've read before when the level was very high, and then I triggered the intake assessment. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open up this book, Tigers and Cubs. Then you can see, or in fact, what I should do is, yeah, okay. Let me click on that. Then you can see what's going on here. Hopefully you can hear the sound. I can't remember, did I share my sound with you? Please let me know if you don't hear anything. Okay, so in terms of using this navigation here, basically got back, if you want to go backwards, forwards and forward pages, audio, it has audio here, and then I can play. If I hit play, basically the pages will turn by themselves. So I'll do that for now, then you can hear what it's like.
Tigers and Cubs.
Can everyone hear that?
By Amelia Hendricks.
Yep.
So I'm not clicking anything, so it's just turning by itself.
Tigers are big cats. They have lots of hair. This is called fur. They have lines in their fur. These are stripes. They live in groups. These are called streaks. Some live in zoos. Baby tigers are called cubs. They are very cute. Cubs cannot see at first. Their mother takes care of them. She gives the cubs food. Later, she teaches them to hunt.
Finished. So if I click next, it should give me some points for reading that book. And also it should present me with a quiz. So I've got 5 stars. So remember that these stars I'm trying to accumulate. Continue. Oh, okay. I don't know if did I set the quiz to every 2 books or 1, but I forgot already. Anyway, what those stars are doing is going into my bank, basically my bank account. And then what's happening is if I go into here, my report, I can see how many stars I currently have. So here's my current Lexile level. What student did I log in at? Maybe I logged in as a different student. Anyway, so 5 stars earned, and then total stars earned is 533. What student am I here? Student 2. Okay, let me sign out. I'm going to sign in as student 1. I think I want to show you one thing which I've missed out. Let me camera student number 1. Okay, this is the bit we're missing. When you log in to LevelUP for the it's a LevelUP one. Okay, when you log in, you're presented with something like this. It's actually the intake assessment. So it starts off on very easy questions, and then as you answer the questions right or wrong, the system will adjust the next few questions. So if you answer all the questions wrongly, for example, the system will already know this child isn't very good at reading, so they will probably only get to answer 5 questions. But let's say they've answered 3 out of 5 correctly, they will give them a 6th question that will be progressively more difficult. So if they start answering them more and more correctly, the questions will become very difficult. So you could end up doing an intake assessment that is around 20 to 25 questions, depending on how you perform. So what's showing up on the screen now is what we call the progress monitoring assessment. So this child has read a few books and then they will get this monitoring assessment. But in this instance, what I did as a teacher, I triggered this. I automatically set this. So when the child logs in, like they have now, I'm giving them the chance to move up a level rather than stay at their beginning reader LevelUP level. So let's have a go. Let's go. Okay. Flowers. So what do we see here? So it's a link question. Does anyone want to give me an answer, or shall I just guess? Flowers is associated with shop. That is easy. The lights in the room were off. The room was
Dark.
dark. Very good. Let's get one question wrong. The bus is late. Ming and her dad dance. Obviously, no is wrong. Many people got in the car. Now the car is
Full.
very good. Well, I'm saying very good as if I know the answer. Joe wants to know the time. He looks at the
Clock.
Well done. May turns off the light. She gets in bed. It is dark outside. She closes her eyes. May will
Sleep.
okay, finish. So the system is calculating. How did we perform? Great job. I got 25 stars. My LevelUP level has been measured to be 50 LevelUPs now. So I'm no longer a beginning reader 10 LevelUPs. So if I click on this, okay, the system is going to present to me now books that should be within that LevelUP level. So if I just scroll down, so the LevelUPs are within a range, what we call, what do they call it? ZPD, a zonal proximity development. So what happens is, even though my LevelUP is 50 LevelUPs, it will give me books that is below 50, maybe around 0, and then some above. So as you can see here, some as high as 100. I'm seeing 150 is a high. So it's a zone that they're given some more challenging books. So I can pick and choose based on books that I've already read. It's recommending for me to read these books. So what I want to quickly show you here, out of the 2,300 over books, there are 110 interactive phonic books which are within this section here. So they've all been organized nicely. So I can just scroll across. You can see the kind of the consonant and vowels, short vowel, long vowels, blends, digraphs, what else do we have? Compound words and all these kind of things that I'm sure like someone like Vicky will know very well. Okay, then down below here, we've got a new section here. Now, this is came about because I did complain to Rosen. They had a lot of books, fiction and non-fiction books out of the 2,300 books that were phonic readers, but they were not tagged as phonic readers. So how would you know as a teacher where these books are? What are those titles? So what they've done, cleverly done for us, is segment them into this section here, the phonic readers. So you can go in here anytime you want and then find the book that you want. And then because of the books I've read already as a student, it's recommending all these books below here. If you don't find what you want, then even as a student, I can actually type in here. Maybe I want to read something about tennis. Okay, that's not a very good word. Football. There you go. So these are books that are in the system, in their 2,300 books. See some Spanish ones as well, about football, if I wanted to click on that. Okay, so let me take the assigned book, that one that we assigned here, Who Ate the Turkey? Remember this one? I hope to be presented with a quiz at the end of this. So I'm going to click on this, Who Ate the Turkey? Next, Who Ate the Turkey? Next. So if I want to click on play.
Who ate the turkey?
Stop it whenever I want and also press next. I can hit the audio. Just make it a bit louder.
Mom, did you eat the turkey?
Okay, I was just going to flick through this. Dad, did you eat the turkey? Kim, did you eat the turkey? Digger, did you eat the turkey? Digger did eat the turkey. So it's the vocab words. So I want the quiz. Finish the book. 10 points. Very good. Here we go. Here are the questions that we want. So who ate the turkey? Mom or Digger? So if the child is not very good at reading this, they can click on this audio and hear.
Who ate the turkey? Mom. Digger.
So it was Digger. Next. What happened after the boy asked if his dad ate the turkey? Anyone try answer? Did they manage to read the book as quickly as me? If the child cannot read, switch on the audio to let them answer the quiz. Yes, correct. How did the boy feel when he saw that the turkey was gone? I just put happy, answer incorrectly. Pet dog. I'm just answering very quickly so I can race through this. How did I do? Did I do well? I got 8 stars out of 10. I could have, that was because I only got 3 questions right. So I can see my answers, which ones I got wrong. So they're highlighted here in red. Then if I continue, then you can see what happens here. Go back to the bookshelf, and then now you can see my assignment's finished. I've got 1 more book to read in that section here. So what am I doing with all these stars? These stars, let's see, how many stars do I have? I got currently so far I got 981 stars. So I'm going to use these stars in this, what we call LevelUP Land. Remember the gaming, this is the gamification of this application here. So there isn't any real outcome in this virtual world. We're not killing people, we're not shooting, we're not racing, we're not, what else? What else do they do? Basically, it's a virtual world where you're populating it. So what you're populating it with is things that you can afford to buy with the stars that you've accumulated. So what we're looking at here are some items that are already, where I can quickly access them. But if I click on this shop here, the marketplace, I can see what I can spend, what I can buy using the points that I've accumulated. So let me see, what else do we have? Animals. We love dogs, actually. Let's look like a corgi, 40 stars. So these are the different elements of what this dog can do. So if I buy this, I can set all these. Okay, let's buy him. Buy, confirm, yes. Let's put him, what did I buy? My corgi. I'll put him here. There we go. Okay, so now this corgi is in my quick. Let me just put him here. You see my corgi? So if I click there he's there already. If I click on him again, I can edit him. I can make him bigger. I can spin him around. You see? I can also delete him if I wanted to, and then I can also give him a different action. So currently he's just standing there. So I want him to stick out his tongue. There you go. So if you're good at virtual reality, how to control it, all I'm doing is clicking and dragging on the world here right now, or they can use this icon here. Yeah, you see how bad I am. So basically you can see what oh, there's a beagle. What does he do? Okay, that's nice, that one. I can also use my keyboard, so I'm going to let go of my mouse and then just use my keyboard to move around. Oh, a DeLorean. Back to the Future. What does this do? Oh, no animation. Okay. Okay, so that is the LevelUP Land. So this is where we reward children who are reading books, answering questions, and leveling all the time. That is the end of my presentation. So I can open the floor now. If anyone wants to ask me questions by audio or through the chat, then you're most welcome to ask me questions now. Or Chuya, do you want to say anything first?
I actually put something for you to explain to them. You have not explained them what Lexel level is all about. You need to explain.
I thought I did explain that at the beginning.
No. That's why they're asking you the question now.
Lexel is basically a measure of their reading ability. So if the child has a Lexel level of 100 compared to another child who has a Lexel level of beginning reader 10, it means that their ability, the books they're reading is much better, is a higher ability. So the system will try to give them books which are higher ability. So if they're at Lexel level 700, then the kind of books that they're presented with are more lengthy, more bombastic words, like I said earlier on, Harry Potter type of novels, that kind of thing, that kind of ability.
Yeah, actually, basically, there's a few assessment tools that is used for measuring children's ability. Lexel is actually one of the more popular one, and actually it's very popular in school in Singapore. So basically, most of the publisher in the world, they'll try to actually send their books to the company for the company to actually place a level onto the books. So the Lexel level is actually measured in terms of the length of the book, the number of words in the book, how the work's been formed, and the difficulty of the books or the words, the text is inside the book. So like what Kenlin is talking to you, the lower the Lexel level, the easier the book is. But sometimes it doesn't mean that more text mean more difficult, because some books got a lot of text, but a lot of words are repeated words, a lot of side words, a lot of very easy words. So it also doesn't mean that if a book has 1,000 words against a book that has only 800 words, right? It doesn't mean that 1,000 words is more difficult. So Lexel measure on the difficulty of the story inside the book. So this company was actually put a level of marking onto the book. So anybody who actually buy a book, as long as there's a Lexel one, the school teacher likes it because they are able to actually know how difficult the book is and to pack it to give it to the right student. That is why Lexel is very popular. And you can find more information about Lexel. Actually, if you Google, they'll tell you exactly what Lexel is all about. So Rosen LevelUP decided to actually subscribe to their pod. So they actually have all the books packed on to Lexel level. And this system, yes, you're right, is calculated based on Lexel level. So when the child first came in, you'll be given an on-take assessment. And during the on-take assessment, it will calculate the child reading ability at that point of time. One of you asked a question on whether you should actually read on behalf of the child. You do not do that, because this system is actually trying to determine the child level at the beginning of the reading level. So if you want to help the child, you are not giving giving the system a chance to actually accurately determine the level of child. So do not help the child. It's better when the on-take assessment come in that the child are not able to answer, doesn't matter. Then the system will be calculated based on the lowest level for the child to come in. And the system will actually assign the level that suits the child at that point in time. And as the child progresses in reading ability, the system will actually assign the more difficult books for the child to read. So that is why it's called level up. And like what Kenlin explained to you, how the system assign it to you is based on a comprehension strategy tools. So that means every book, they will actually pack according to different comprehension strategy. Like some will be narrative, some will be persuasive, some will be, like all kinds of things like, I mean, all the strategy, all the comprehension strategy are actually found inside the system. So when the child is poor in certain element, the Rosen LevelUP will actually try to give you the right book to suit that particular child. So that is why it's very important for you not to help the child at the beginning. Let the child go at their own pace.
Yeah. So Lexile, just to reiterate, Lexile is not just measuring the fact that they can read. It's actually covering the other elements in the English language, the comprehension, for example, like the question making inferences that student one was getting wrong. So it's covering the spectrum, a wider spectrum of reading and understanding. And it's not based on that child's age, where their Lexile level is given at all. The system doesn't know that the child who's using it, what their age is or what their grade is. So it's based on what is presented to them, the questions at the beginning, the intake. And oh yeah, sorry, but by the way, there are like 2 different levels, right, when they do the intake. So if your child wants to use this system and they're 7 years old compared to a child who's 4 years old, you would need to inform us about that, and then we can tell Rosen to trigger the intake to match what should be their reading ability at that stage. But if we give them a level that's too high, right, and then they do the intake and they become a beginning reader, then the system will still match accordingly based on what they've just performed in the questions.
Okay,
that makes sense.
Yeah. The other thing I'd like to mention is that some people ask whether can this system be used for, can you buy one account for the whole class? Okay.
Depending on how you use it.
Yes, you want to answer that question or answer?
Yeah, we have one teacher who's bought it for their enrichment. So they present it in front of like 5 or 6 children. So what I say for him is that you can't let the child use it individually and measure their Lexile. It's not going to be able to distinguish between one child to another child because everyone's using that same account. So the only way he can use it, this one account, is by picking the book that he wants to read in front of the whole class, and then project it onto a big screen or a big TV. That's the only way that it's going to be useful. But if you start doing the intake assessment as a class as a whole, yes, you can do that. All the children say, yes, I know the answer. It's A, it's B, it's C, it's that one, it's this. But it's not representative of each individual child, if that makes, well, hopefully I've answered that one.
Okay, then the other thing is that, like Kenlin mentioned, this system also have 110 interactive phonics books. That's why those books are very useful to use with Jolly Phonics or any other phonics program. And I think, Kenlin, you did not show them. Do you show them what does interactive phonics book looks like? I think it might be worth a while to quickly show them.
Let me just resume the share. Let me just quickly open up. See. Yeah, so the phonic books are interactive compared to the other books that are on the bookshelf. So it's limited interaction. I wouldn't say it's like very complex.
The letter T. This is the letter T. It makes the sound T. This is an uppercase T. 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 This is a lowercase t. T, t. Let's write the letter T. Follow the arrow to trace the uppercase T.
Oh, here, I'm interacting with it now. Sorry, didn't drag it enough.
Follow the arrow to trace the lowercase t.
So you can see this icon here that is prompting me to click on the next.
This is the letter T. It makes the sound t, t, t. Let's practice reading some words that start with the letter T.
So we're going to give some vocab words now, building the vocab.
When we put the letter T, t, with able, we get table. When we put the letter T, t, with op, we get top. When we put the letter T, t, with ent, we get tent. When we put the letter T, t, with ertle, we get turtle. Circle the words that start with the letter T. This is the letter T. It makes the sound t, t, t. Let's practice reading some words that start with the letter T.
I was going to give more vocab words. I'm just going to run through this and you can see
Match the picture to the correct word that starts with the letter
This is a
T.
drag and drop. So, tent. So basically, using the vocab words that you learn in this particular book, it will give you different ways of presenting the question. Here's another. Oh, finish.
You learned the letter T.
So just to
and
let you
its
know,
sound,
the phonics books in this
terrific.
LevelUP program does not have any quiz at the end of each book, but you will still be able to earn points just by reading the book. So when I click on finish, it should give me something. 5. Yeah, that's probably because I rushed through it. I didn't get a 10 stars. Okay, back to you, Chuya.
So do you all have any more questions to ask?
Chuya, Kenlin, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, I got 2 questions. I'll do it quickly. Question number 1 and 2 pertaining to a classroom situation. And I'm just thinking again, second language learners. Kenlin, during your demonstration, you mentioned about as a teacher, you assign books to the students, right?
Yeah.
So I presume that the students need to subscribe to an account as well before he or she could receive the book. Am I right?
Yes, correct. So you'll need to subscribe to the system, the Rosen LevelUP system. So let's say you have let's say your class has 30 students, you would need to
Right.
subscribe to 30 accounts. But you cannot, for your case, you only have one account as a teacher. There's no point in having 30 teacher accounts.
I'm just thinking because, I mean, I'm not going to waste the time of the other participants, but I know situation perhaps like in China, parents could be very skeptical, and these parents have no knowledge of English. They might not be able to actually, mentor the children at home. I'm just thinking in a situation. So let's say if it's mature classrooms and parents are welcoming the program. So if I am a teacher and I would like to assign books to a class of 20 students, preschoolers, these 20 students, they should each have an account. Am I right?
That is correct. Correct.
Okay. Okay. My second question is very quickly. I mean, thanks, and you explain about the Excel system. I'll Google and find out more. What about just now? Chiria had also advised, preferably we will not use it just in the classroom, show it and all the 20 students answer the same questions. But what if it's like a new setup to around interest to gain trust of the the parent and the students? Can we use it like much more like, unlike a reading program, much more like a reference, whether I'm doing phonics, perhaps I'm talking about Western Festival, Thanksgiving, so I might actually search for books like that and I share it with the class. Can it be used that way?
Yeah, basically there is one reseller actually. He has his own enrichment business. So what he does is he's actually just bought one account and uses it with all his students. So, but he has groups of students, they all come in at a certain age range. So he picks a book, shows it on the big screen, and then they all go through it, read the book together in that way. So that's how he uses it, this system. He sees that the fact that he's got access to 2,300 books, right? And then only pay whatever, $78 for it,
It's much more like using like a library reference in the beginning.
Correct. Which is perfectly fine. That's perfectly fine. You can use it that way as well. But he's not getting the most out of it, you see. They're not making use of the Excel measuring assessment.
Right. So if any parties are interested, like using LevelUP, they can have it as long as they pay. I mean, the students, the school, they can have it in China. They can have it in different parts of the world. Am I right?
Yeah, anywhere. In fact, you can bring this anywhere around the world. Even if you're in the Antarctic, you can use it there as well, as long as you have access to the internet.
Also VPN.
Yeah. VPN is.
Anyway,
Okay, thank you.
There's no blockage. There's no restriction, so you don't need a VPN.
Okay, right. Okay,
anyway,
thank you.
I think our friend in Africa is here. She also bought a lot of accounts from me. Dorcas is here. She bought a lot of accounts for me for her African children. So you can get access to actually anywhere in the world. Okay, let me quickly explain to you, because some of you who are teachers, some of you here are children. So it's very easy to explain to you whether you buy one account or 10 accounts. Okay, when Rosen first started this program, it was actually during one year before the pandemic hit us. So this program initially was started mainly to sell to the school. Because when we acquired the program last year, we could not sell it to the school. So we asked permission for them to allow us to sell it to the parents. So they agreed. So that's when we started to sell parents. But when we sell to the parents, we did notice that we have no choice because we have to give them the teacher's account. So last year, all the parents enjoy the prospect of just buying one.
Level up your students' reading experience with our personalized and adaptive foundational literacy platform for pre-K through 2nd grade. The key to teaching a child to read is individualized instruction. Rosen LevelUP empowers educators with the knowledge to provide that for each individual student or to differentiate instruction for groups of children within their classroom. Rosen LevelUP is a great classroom support tool and a great student self-guided reading tool. educators and students can browse a personalized library of over 2,300 high-interest books. The LevelUP library includes fiction and nonfiction texts and an interactive phonics program. Using the power of Lexile framework for reading, students are able to meet standard grade and age level benchmarks. Teachers can build students' reading comprehension skills using a vast array of educator tools. Lesson plans, graphic organizers, word lists, and activity sheets ensure students get the most out of their reading experience. The LevelUP Phonics solution of 110 interactive books builds students' skills in phonemic awareness, letter-sound correspondence, blends, digraphs, and more. Students progress through a fun series of books with video illustrations, professionally narrated audio, guided practice, and interactive activities. When students first visit LevelUP, they complete a quick intuitive assessment. This is followed by periodic progress monitoring assessments to track the students' development as readers. As students' Lexile measures increase, their personalized libraries adapt too. At intervals set by the educator, comprehension assessments appear at the end of the book to track student performance on the skills and achievement standards for the appropriate grade in their state. Rosen LevelUP offers robust, intuitive reporting for analysis. Educators have access to essential reporting at a glance, saving time for teachers and administrators. With the ability to view over 100 data points at the district, school, class, and student level, educators can identify areas of growth and those in need of intervention. LevelUP supports individual reading practices, small groups, and whole classroom instruction with ease. Through the LevelUP student dashboard, kids become the leaders of their own learning. Each student is provided with a library that fits their interest and their personalized target reading range, which is designed to maximize growth in reading skills. In LevelUP Land, learners can explore a state-of-the-art, immersive 3D environment, similar to the most popular gaming platforms of today. This read-to-play approach motivates students to read and to receive credits redeemable for digital rewards in the game. By creating fluent readers with data-proven comprehension, LevelUP provides all students with a strong foundation for academic success. Grow up with LevelUP.